Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the replacement plan for Joe Biden has finally been unveiled, and they're kind of backed into a corner. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're voting for Trump in 2024, regardless of who the Democrat nominee is, smash that join button and become a member of this channel. The Democrat Party is in a really big shambles right now. This is crunch time for them, and I'll tell you why. No matter what they do, they're kind of up against the wall. If they keep Joe Biden, I think he loses in a landslide, a Reagan-like landslide. I wouldn't have said that a month ago. I'm always honest with you guys. There's been people out here saying that for months, and they were liars. They wanted you to follow them. They wanted you to give them money. They wanted whatever to tell you what you wanted to hear. I will never do that. But now, after that debate, after all of the debacle that it's been since then, after him making mistake after mistake that's now being shown to the American people, no. Looking at the polling, unless Trump does something to blow this, it's a Trump landslide. And the problem is, if they want to replace Biden, well, that's not so easy. In fact, it's a lot easier said than done. What they're going to go over here as they reveal this to you is exactly how tough it would be to replace Biden, and it's really a mountain to climb. I want you guys to let me know in the comments after you watch this, do you think they stick with Biden, or do they pick somebody else? And if they do, who do they pick? Let me know.
What would it take to replace President Biden as the Democratic Party's nominee? Some in the party are already gaming out potential ways to do it, and CNN's Brian Todd has been digging into those scenarios for us.
If President Biden leaves the race, analysts say it would almost certainly have to be his decision to bow out voluntarily.
It's unlikely that if Joe Biden does not step down voluntarily, that there would be a different nominee at the top of the ticket.
If he doesn't voluntarily leave, someone in the Democratic Party could try to replace him by introducing an open nomination process at the Democratic National Convention in August. But that scenario is unlikely. Still, even if the president decides on his own to quit the race, the process for replacing him is uncertain and somewhat messy.
The primaries are over, the caucuses are over. You can't redo the primaries or caucuses. You can't elect new delegates.
If Biden steps aside before the convention, it could turn the convention itself into a free-for-all, or at least make it full of intrigue. Names of replacements would be put forward, and the roughly 3,900 Democratic delegates from across the country would decide who to vote for as the nominee.
Oh, it's up to the delegates. In the end, it's up to them.
President Biden won almost all of those 3,900 delegates in the primaries. But does he have control over who they support if he's out of the race?
It's not like Joe Biden can say, okay, I'm stepping down. All of you delegates that signed on for me have to now support this other candidate. That's not how it works. Those delegates would essentially be free to move in the way they want.
Like the days of old, backroom deals and lobbying could prevail at the convention as potential nominees try to convince the delegates to get behind them. In the end, how many of the 3,900 delegates would a candidate have to win at the convention to get the nomination?
Ultimately, they would have to convince somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 plus Democratic delegates to vote for them on a roll call vote.
If no candidate can convince roughly 2,000 delegates to vote for them in the first round, then additional so-called superdelegates, about 700 of them, comprised of party insiders and elected officials, are also allowed to join in the voting. It would all mean a late start for any candidate, including in the money race. If Vice President Kamala Harris won the nomination, she would presumably be able to use Biden's campaign war chest because her name is on all the filings. But any other candidate may have to raise their own money.
Our thanks to Brian Todd for that report.